Over the course of running jazz piano school, one of the major problems and issues that I've seen that students tend to have is getting lost in their improvisation. And this actually came up a couple weeks ago on a live Zoom call I was doing to teach some of the students inside of jazz piano school. Now, if you're someone who's constantly getting lost while improvising, the exercise that I'm about to give you in this lesson video is going to solve all your problems. I promise you. It helped me when I was getting lost consistently, and it's had tremendous results. The students have told me, they've come back to me and been like, Brendan, this literally fixed my problem of getting lost. So I promise you, when you do this exercise, when you practice it a lot, you'll have a much better feel of where your time is, and you will not get lost anymore in your improvisation. My name is Brendan Lowe, creator and founder of Jazz Piano School. Don't forget to go to jazzpianoschool.com and check out all the other free education we have. We do have a membership available. And if you're looking to learn more about my philosophies and the systems that I use to teach all my students, go to jazzpianoschool.com/system. With that being said, let's dive right in.
All right, so this exercise will be broken down into 2 steps. And again, as I mentioned, my students and the Jazz Piano School members have reported back to me that this has done absolutely amazing things for their improvisation and helping them not get lost while they're improvising. So again, if you have that issue, I promise you, if you do this a lot, this can solve your problem really easily. So if we're doing a 2-5-1 in the key of C, for example, and let's say we just have 1 bar each, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the exercise, okay? The first step is when you start your solo, you're going to cycle through all the different beats possible, just broken down into downbeats and upbeats. So here's what I mean. You're going to start a line on beat 1, and you can end it however you want, but your goal is to start a line beat 1. Anytime you start a line, you want to start on beat 1. Easy enough, right? Very easy. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Let's say I finished there. The next time I start a line, I'm going to start on beat 1 again. That's my only goal. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3. So anytime you take a little break, obviously you want to leave space. You're going to start on beat 1. Okay, so the first part of this exercise is where we start our improvisational line. So I would practice that, do it without any time first, maybe play bass notes if you want, or just put a metronome on. Always start your line on beat 1. The next step is to always start your line on the upbeat of 1, So now, if you're playing solo piano, you're playing bass notes, you're going to start on the upbeat of 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So anytime you start a line, you're going to start on the upbeat of 1. All right? And then you practice that. Okay? And again, cycle through different variations of working on this. So you want to go from most controlled to least controlled. So the most controlled environment is no metronome playing, no pressure, just you counting in your head. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Depending upon how advanced you are, obviously you can use more bebop approaches. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Right? You can use more tools. If you're a beginner, just work on diatonic motion, up and down, landing on chord tones, right? Starting on chord tones and landing on chord tones. But again, your rhythmic goal is to start your line on the upbeat of 1. All right? Then you can put a metronome on, you can put a backing track on, whatever you want. Then we go to beat 2. So now we start our line on the downbeat of 2. So 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Now I'm ending on the downbeat of 1, but you don't have to. You can play longer lines than that or shorter lines. You might just go 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3. No matter what you do and how much space you take, your goal is always to start on the downbeat of 2 for this particular section. And as you guessed it, we're just going to keep going. Now we're going to go to the upbeat of 2. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2. Right? So you're getting used to always starting your line on certain beats. I'm not going to go through and demonstrate all of them. Obviously, you'd go to beat 3, the downbeat of beat 3, the upbeat of beat 3, the downbeat of beat 4, and the upbeat of beat 4. Okay, so this is the first part of exercise. It's when you start. All right, the second part of the exercise is where you finish. Okay, because and what this is doing is it's helping you keep track of all the beats, where they are, and it's helping you not get anxious or nervous when you stop in a certain spot or start in a certain spot. This is really going to help you feel the time in a much different way. So now I'm going to end on beat 1. You can start however you want, but you have to end your line on beat 1. You have to stop on beat 1. So I might go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. So I ended on beat 1. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. So I am ending all my lines on beat 1. Then I would do the same thing. I'm going to end all my lines on the upbeat of 1. Okay, I'm going to stop all my lines on the upbeat of 1. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3. I'm always stopping my phrase or my line on the upbeat of 1. Don't play your left hand if you're still getting used to this and you're just working on this, right? Always keep your right hand alone at first, and then if you want to start to add in chords after you start to get used to this, then do that. You never really want to start with 2 hands ever if you're working on improvisational exercises because it's going to distract your brain way too much. Okay, that's for the far future. Now, as we did in the first part of the exercise, we're going to work through and start to go through all the beats ending. So now I'm going to end on the downbeat of 2, and then end on the upbeat of 2, then end on the downbeat of 3, and so on and so forth. That's the second part of the exercise. And the last part of the exercise is going to be a bonus part that's going to be for more intermediate to advanced players where you pick the beginning and the end and you try and execute that line. So maybe I'm going to say to myself, okay, I'm going to start on the upbeat of 1 and I'm going to end my line on the upbeat of 3. I'm going to start on the upbeat of 1 and end my line on the upbeat of 3. Right? Now, this can be a short phrase, like meaning I could go 1 and 2 and 3 and, or it can cross over the bar. So this is up to you. So I might go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Right? Or I can do an elongated version of this, go over the bar and make it even longer. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Right? So I did a full measure there over the bar line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, so now I'm picking and choosing. I'm picking a starting point and an ending point, right? So both points matter. Now, I promise you, when you practice this exercise a lot, and again, start slow without a metronome, then maybe put a metronome on, not using your left hand, then maybe start to introduce your left hand depending upon how it's going, right? You want to go from the least amount of variables while practicing, always. Anything you're practicing, you want to go from the least amount of variables to the most amount of variables so that you can really focus in on the exercise so you're actually training your hand. Most people sit down at the piano, they try and practice stuff, and they're never really practicing because there's way too many variables. They have the metronome going, they have their left hand going, they're trying to add in extensions, harmonies, when in actuality, you should just be practicing the most simple aspect of whatever you're trying to improve at that moment all by itself. Okay? And this is what leads to drastic results and progress in your playing. Otherwise, you're not really going anywhere. You're not really making any progress. All right, so trust me, do this a lot for your improvisation, and I promise you, when you go to improvise through progressions, through tunes the next time, you're not going to get lost because you're going to be feeling the beats. You're going to have a sense of rhythm in yourself. You're going to have a sense of where you're stopping your line, where you're ending your line, and where the downbeats are happening as the chords are changing, okay? Try it out. Get back to me. Let me know, and hopefully it goes well for you. Okay? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to go to jazzpianoschool.com to check out all of our free, amazing education, all of the free podcasts, blogs. We do have a membership if you're looking to take a next step forward with us, get access to over 1,000 different jazz piano videos, playbooks, mini courses, a main course curriculum, success path, and so much more. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at support@jazzpianoschool.com. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, happy practicing.